Have you ever wondered what it takes to thrive well beyond 70, to live not just longer but with vitality and purpose? The truth is, your body and mind are dropping clues right now about how many years you might have ahead, and they're easier to spot than you think. In this video, we're diving into 7 powerful signs that can reveal your potential for a long, healthy life, backed by science and real-world insights. From the way you move to the thoughts you hold, these signs could change how you approach your future. Stick around until the end, because we'll share one simple, game-changing habit you can start today to boost every single one of these signs and add years to your life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Physical mobility and strength. What to look for. Assess your ability to perform everyday physical tasks with ease. Can you walk briskly for 10 to 15 minutes without feeling winded? Are you able to climb a flight of stairs without gripping the railing tightly or pausing for breath? Can you stand up from a chair or sofa without pushing off with your hands? Another practical indicator is grip strength. Can you open stubborn jars, carry heavy grocery bags, or hold onto objects securely without strain? Try testing your balance, too, such as standing on one leg for a few seconds, as this reflects overall coordination and muscle control. Why it matters. Physical mobility and strength are cornerstones of healthy aging, directly tied to muscle mass, bone density, and skeletal integrity. These factors are essential for maintaining independence, preventing falls, and supporting overall vitality. A landmark 2015 study published in the Journals of Gerontology tracked adults over 70 and found that metrics like walking speed and the ability to rise from a chair were powerful predictors of mortality risk. Participants who walked slower than 0.8 meters per second or struggled with basic movements faced a significantly higher likelihood of death within 5 to 10 years. Muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, becomes more pronounced after age 60, with estimates suggesting a 3 to 5% loss of muscle mass per decade unless countered by activity. Sarcopenia not only weakens the body but also increases the risk of falls, fractures, and disability. However, regular physical activity, especially exercises targeting strength and balance, can slow or even partially reverse this decline, preserving functional ability. Details. Declining mobility often serves as a warning sign for underlying health issues. For example, osteoporosis, which affects approximately 25% of women and 5% of men over 65, weakens bones, making fractures more likely and recovery more challenging. Cardiovascular decline can also manifest as reduced stamina or shortness of breath during movement, signaling that the heart and lungs aren't delivering oxygen as efficiently. The good news is that targeted interventions can make a significant difference, even later in life. A 2009 study in the New England Journal of Medicine followed 70-year-olds who began resistance training, using weights or bodyweight exercises, and found they not only gained muscle mass but also lived longer and maintained independence compared to their sedentary peers. Activities like walking for 30 minutes most days, gardening, or practicing yoga can bolster muscle strength, improve joint flexibility, and enhance balance. For instance, walking at a moderate pace, about 3 to 4 miles per hour, burns calories, strengthens leg muscles, and supports cardiovascular health, all of which contribute to a longer, healthier life. Even household chores like vacuuming or carrying laundry can count as meaningful activities if done regularly. Reality check. Mobility limitations don't necessarily spell doom. Chronic conditions like osteoarthritis, which affects over 30% of adults over 65, can stiffen joints and make movement painful, but with proper management, such as physical therapy, medication, or assistive devices, many people continue to thrive. The key is consistency. Staying as active as possible within your limits is one of the most robust predictors of longevity. If you're incorporating movement into your daily routine, whether it's a structured workout or simply tending to a vegetable patch, you're likely stacking the odds in your favor for a vibrant, independent future. 2. Cognitive function. What to look for. Evaluate how sharp your mind feels in daily life. Are you noticing more frequent lapses, like forgetting names or misplacing keys, or is your memory reliable for recent events, such as what you ate for breakfast or a conversation from yesterday? Can you tackle new mental challenges, like learning to navigate a smartphone app, following a recipe, or picking up a new hobby, without excessive frustration? Pay attention to your ability to focus during conversations or make decisions, as these reflect cognitive clarity. Why it matters. Cognitive health is a critical pillar of longevity and quality of life. As we age, the brain undergoes natural changes, but preserving mental sharpness can significantly influence how long and how well you live. A 2021 study in the Lancet Healthy Longevity followed 3,600 Danish adults over 90 and found that those with higher cognitive scores on tests like the Mini Mental State Examination, which assesses memory, attention, and problem-solving, were more likely to survive longer. Normal aging might mean occasionally groping for a word or taking longer to process information, but significant memory loss, confusion, or difficulty with familiar tasks could signal conditions like mild cognitive impairment or dementia. Dementia, including Alzheimer's disease, affects about 10% of people over 65 and 30% over 85, and it can reduce life expectancy by several years if untreated. Early detection and lifestyle interventions can slow progression and improve outcomes. Details. After age 70, the brain naturally loses some volume, about 0.5 to 1% per year in certain regions like the hippocampus, crucial for memory, and communication between neurons may slow. However, this doesn't mean cognitive decline is inevitable. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, remains active throughout life, and stimulating activities can strengthen neural pathways. Engaging in mentally demanding tasks, such as solving crossword puzzles, reading complex books, playing a musical instrument, or learning a new language, promotes cognitive reserve, which acts like a buffer against decline. Social engagement is equally vital. A 2021 study of 11,000 older adults in Nature Aging found that loneliness and social isolation in one's 70s increased the risk of depression and cognitive impairment by up to 20%. Regular interactions with friends, family, or community groups, whether through book clubs, volunteering, or even video calls, can enhance mood and mental agility. If you're staying curious, socializing regularly, and challenging your brain with new experiences, like mastering a new recipe or debating a news topic, you're likely fortifying your cognitive health. Reality check. Occasional forgetfulness, like blanking on a name or needing a moment to recall a detail, is a normal part of aging and not necessarily a cause for alarm. However, persistent or worsening issues, such as getting lost in familiar places, struggling to follow conversations, or forgetting how to perform routine tasks, warrant a medical evaluation. Early intervention, including cognitive assessments, lifestyle changes, or medications, can slow or manage decline. If you're proactively keeping your mind active and socially connected, you're building a strong foundation for cognitive resilience. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. Heart health. What to look for. Monitor how your body responds to physical exertion and rest. Do you feel short of breath or fatigued after light activities, like walking a block or climbing a few steps? Do you experience chest pain, tightness, or discomfort during exertion, which could indicate angina? Check your resting heart rate by counting your pulse for 15 seconds and multiplying by 4. A range of 60 to 80 beats per minute typically suggests sufficient heart function for older adults, though athletes may have lower rates. Also, note any swelling in your legs or ankles, which might signal fluid buildup related to heart issues. Why it matters. Cardiovascular health is paramount for longevity, as heart disease remains the leading cause of death globally, accounting for about 30% of mortality in adults over 70. A 2008 study in the Archives of Internal Medicine examined men over 70 and found that those with healthy blood pressure, ideally below 120/80 mmHg, and no diagnosed heart disease had a 54% higher chance of reaching age 90 compared to those with cardiovascular issues. A robust heart efficiently pumps oxygenated blood to organs and tissues, reducing strain on the kidneys, lungs, and brain. Poor heart health, conversely, can cascade into problems like stroke, kidney failure, or cognitive decline, all of which shorten life expectancy. Details. Aging naturally alters the cardiovascular system. The heart muscle may weaken slightly, reducing its ability to pump vigorously under stress, and arteries can stiffen, elevating blood pressure. Hypertension affects over 60% of adults over 65. Lifestyle choices profoundly influence heart health. A 2008 study highlighted that smoking, obesity, and diabetes drastically lower the odds of reaching 90, to just 14% for those with all 3 risk factors. Conversely, habits like eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, such as fish or poultry, managing stress through mindfulness or hobbies, and avoiding tobacco can keep your heart resilient. For example, the omega-3 fatty acids in salmon or walnuts reduce inflammation and support heart rhythm. Regular checkups are critical to detect issues like atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat affecting 10 to 15% of people over 70, or high cholesterol, which can be managed with lifestyle changes or medications. If you're exercising moderately, say, brisk walking or cycling for 150 minutes per week, and maintaining healthy habits, your heart is likely in good shape. Reality check. You don't need a flawless heart to live a long life. Many people reach their 80s and beyond with managed conditions like hypertension or mild heart failure, thanks to medications, diet, and exercise. However, ignoring warning signs, such as persistent chest pain, extreme fatigue, or irregular heartbeats, can be dangerous. If you're proactive about heart health, scheduling regular doctor visits, and staying active, you're taking meaningful steps toward longevity. 4. Body weight and nutrition. What to look for. Observe whether your weight is stable, without dramatic gains or losses. Are you within a healthy range, neither excessively thin nor obese? Check your diet. Do you regularly eat a variety of nutrient-rich foods, including colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, like chicken, beans, or tofu, whole grains, and healthy fats, such as olive oil or avocados? Or do you lean heavily on processed foods, sugary snacks, or fast food? Notice your appetite. Has it decreased significantly, or are you still enjoying meals? Why it matters. Nutrition and weight management become increasingly important with age, as metabolism slows by about 1 to 2% per decade after 60, and appetite can wane, raising the risk of malnutrition or unintended weight loss. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adhering to a Mediterranean-style diet, emphasizing produce, fish, nuts, and olive oil, was associated with a 17% lower risk of cardiovascular mortality and improved overall health. Obesity, on the other hand, increases the likelihood of chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes, affecting 25% of adults over 65, joint degeneration, and heart disease, all of which can shave years off life expectancy. Conversely, being underweight or malnourished can weaken immunity, reduce muscle mass, and signal underlying illnesses. Details. After 70, caloric needs typically decrease to around 1,800 to 2,200 calories per day for most older adults, depending on activity level and gender, but the quality of those calories matters more than ever. Nutrient deficiencies, such as low levels of vitamin D, common in 50% of older adults due to reduced sun exposure, or vitamin B12, affected by age-related declines in absorption, can weaken bones, impair nerve function, and sap energy. A varied diet with foods like leafy greens, berries, salmon, eggs, and nuts delivers essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to combat inflammation and support organ function. For example, calcium-rich foods, yogurt, and kale, paired with vitamin D help maintain bone density, reducing fracture risk. If you're eating balanced, colorful meals and avoiding extreme weight fluctuations, you're likely meeting your nutritional needs. While supplements can address specific deficiencies, whole foods provide synergistic benefits that pills can't replicate. Hydration is also key. Dehydration affects up to 20% of older adults and can exacerbate fatigue or confusion. Reality check. Weight isn't the whole story. Interestingly, some research, including a 2013 meta-analysis in JAMA, suggests that a slightly higher body mass index, BMI of 25 to 30, or mildly overweight, may be protective after 70, possibly because it provides energy reserves during illness. Extreme thinness, however, often signals frailty or conditions like cancer or thyroid disease, which require medical attention. If you're nourishing your body with wholesome foods and maintaining a stable weight, you're setting yourself up for a healthier, longer life. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. Immune system resilience. What to look for. How frequently do you fall ill with colds, flu, or other infections, and how quickly do you bounce back? Are you diligent about staying up to date with recommended vaccinations, such as those for influenza, pneumonia, and shingles? Additionally, consider whether you experience chronic allergies or notice changes in how your body responds to injuries or infections over time. Why it matters. As we age, the immune system undergoes a natural decline known as immunosenescence, which reduces its ability to fend off infections and increases the severity of illnesses. This makes older adults more vulnerable to complications from diseases that might have been minor in their younger years. A 2019 study published in The Lancet analyzed hospitalization rates among older adults and found that those who maintained current vaccination schedules had significantly lower rates of hospital admissions for vaccine-preventable illnesses. Rapid recovery from infections or infrequent illnesses suggests that your immune system remains robust, a key indicator of overall health and longevity. Details: after age 70, the efficacy of vaccines tends to decrease due to immunosenescence, but they remain critical. For instance, annual flu shots reduce the risk of severe outcomes, like hospitalization or death, by approximately 40% in older adults, according to data from the CDC. Chronic inflammation, often triggered by factors like prolonged stress, poor diet, or lack of physical activity, further undermines immune function, increasing susceptibility to infections, autoimmune disorders, and even cancers. Conversely, individuals who rarely fall ill heal quickly from minor injuries and manage stress effectively, perhaps through mindfulness practices, regular exercise, or engaging in hobbies, likely have a stronger immune system. Interestingly, aging often brings a silver lining. Seasonal allergies tend to diminish as the immune system becomes less reactive to certain triggers, offering some relief. To bolster immunity, focus on a nutrient-rich diet, e.g., foods high in vitamin C, zinc, and antioxidants, adequate sleep, and stress reduction techniques like yoga or meditation. Reality check: frequent colds or infections don't automatically signal a shortened lifespan. Some individuals are simply more prone to respiratory bugs due to genetics or environmental exposures. However, persistent signs like slow wound healing, recurrent infections, or extreme fatigue could point to underlying conditions such as diabetes, nutrient deficiencies, or immune disorders. If you notice these patterns, consult a healthcare provider for a thorough evaluation, which might include blood tests to check immune markers or glucose levels. Proactively addressing these issues can significantly improve your immune resilience and overall health trajectory. 6. Social connections and purpose. What to look for. Do you maintain regular contact with close friends, family, or community members? Are you engaged in activities that give your life meaning, such as volunteering, pursuing creative hobbies, mentoring others, or participating in group activities like book clubs or religious gatherings? Reflect on whether you feel a sense of belonging and purpose in your daily life. Why it matters. Social isolation and loneliness are not just emotional burdens, they pose serious health risks. A 2021 study in Nature Aging, which followed over 8,000 adults aged 65 and older, found that social isolation accelerated cognitive decline and increased the risk of cardiovascular diseases, including heart attacks and strokes. Loneliness has been likened to smoking 15 cigarettes a day in terms of its impact on mortality risk. Conversely, having a sense of purpose, often observed in long-lived communities like those in Okinawa, Japan, or Sardinia, Italy, correlates with better mental health, reduced stress, and greater physical resilience. Purpose and connection act as buffers against life's challenges, enhancing both the quality and quantity of life. Details. Research consistently highlights the benefits of social engagement for older adults. A 2021 study in the Journals of Gerontology, involving 3,000 participants over 70, showed that those who regularly interacted with others, whether through family gatherings, community events, or casual chats with neighbors, reported better physical health, lower rates of depression, and higher life satisfaction. Social connections don't need to be extensive. Even small, meaningful interactions can make a difference. For example, joining a local walking group, attending a weekly class, or simply calling a friend regularly can boost your mood and health. Similarly, purpose can stem from modest but fulfilling activities. Tending a garden, teaching a grandchild to cook, or volunteering at a local shelter. These activities provide structure, joy, and a reason to stay active. If you feel connected to others and engaged in life, you're likely fostering the conditions for a longer, healthier future. Reality check. Not everyone thrives on constant social interaction, and introverts can lead long, fulfilling lives with fewer connections. The key is quality over quantity. Having at least one or two deep, supportive relationships can be as impactful as a wide social circle. However, complete isolation is a red flag, as it's associated with higher risks of depression, cognitive decline, and mortality. If you lean towards solitude, consider low-pressure ways to connect, like emailing a friend or joining an online community centered around a hobby. For this purpose, Explore activities that align with your values, even if they're solitary, like writing or birdwatching. Just ensure they bring a sense of accomplishment and joy. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 7. Attitude toward aging. What to look for. How do you feel about growing older? Optimistic and curious, or fearful and resistant? Are you open to adapting to life's changes, such as learning new technologies, e.g., video calls or smartphone apps, trying new forms of exercise, or embracing new routines? Notice whether you approach aging with resilience or dread. Why it matters. Your mindset about aging profoundly influences your health. A 2025 article in The Guardian summarized decades of research, including a landmark study from Yale University, showing that individuals with positive perceptions of aging lived up to 7.5 years longer than those with negative views. Optimism reduces stress hormones like cortisol, which in turn lowers inflammation and mitigates risks for conditions like heart disease and dementia. A flexible, curious attitude also encourages behaviors, like staying active or learning new skills, that support physical and cognitive health. Details. Feeling young at heart isn't just a cliché, it's backed by science. A 2009 report by NBC News, covering a study of 500 adults over 70, found that those who embraced aging with enthusiasm had lower rates of chronic diseases and better functional mobility. Adaptability is key. Older adults who learn to use tools like Zoom to stay connected, try gentle exercises like Tai Chi, or pick up hobbies like painting demonstrate cognitive flexibility and physical vitality. Conversely, chronic fear of aging can lead to a self-fulfilling cycle, increasing anxiety, depression, and even physical decline. For example, someone who avoids exercise out of fear of injury may become weaker, reinforcing their negative beliefs. Simple practices, like keeping a gratitude journal or reflecting on past resilience, can cultivate a more positive outlook. If you approach life with curiosity, embrace change, and find joy in small moments, you're likely setting the stage for a longer, healthier life. Reality check. It's perfectly normal to have moments of worry about aging. Concerns about health, finances, or independence are common. However, persistent negativity or a sense of hopelessness can erode well-being, contributing to stress-related illnesses. You don't need to force relentless positivity. Instead, aim for balance. For instance, if you're anxious about physical limitations, focus on what you can do, like short walks or stretching. Small mindset shifts, like celebrating minor achievements or connecting with others who age gracefully, can gradually transform your perspective without feeling inauthentic. And there you have it, the 7 signs that can give you a glimpse into how long and how well you might live beyond 70, from staying mobile and sharp to keeping your heart strong and your spirit bright. I hope this has inspired you to take a closer look at your habits and health. So, tell me, what's one thing you've learned today that stood out? Maybe it's the power of a daily walk, the importance of staying connected, or even that one simple habit we shared at the end. Drop a comment below this video and share one takeaway you're excited to put into practice in your life. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips to live your best life. See you in the next one.